All right, well, joining me now is a member of the National Executive Committee of that oldest party in Tanzania and perhaps one of the biggest parties, politically speaking, in Africa, CCM. That's January Makamba. Thank you very much for joining us.
No, pleasure is mine, John.
Must be an auspicious evening for you this evening, not so much for the Lowassa campaign. Let's just get into some of the claims that Edward Lowassa made. But specific beyond the claims is the issue of the constitutionality or the lack of room that he has to challenge an electoral result. Is that something that you as January Makamba or as a representative of CCM will be reconsidering going forward?
Of course, we went into this election, all of us are clearly aware that that option is not available. So you cannot get to the end of election and then complaining that that option is not available. The rationale for unavailability of this option is historic, but we have decided as a party and as a country, when we were going through the constitutional review process last year and early this year, to change that provision. So as CCM, we are in support of an idea of challenging or petitioning the presidential vote.
All right, Edward Lowassa also complaining that perhaps he wasn't being heard as much as members of the CCM whenever he talked about some of the challenges that were presented to him in this campaign to the NEC. He feels like he wasn't being heard. You also made some complaints about problems in different constituencies as CCM, and that made it to the front page of a newspaper, and it seems like those concerns were heard. Is this the truth?
First of all, up to the closing day of the campaign, the 24th, they were very confident of victory, and they said it in public. So you cannot say that you have had complaints that were not being heard when the last day of campaigning you clearly had no complaints. We have raised issues which are very specific in very specific constituencies that we felt that the will of the people has not been materialized, and we said that we're going to challenge those results in those particular seats for members of parliament, and you know, we wait to see whether we will prevail. We haven't it's not that we have, you know, gone ahead and succeeded. So I suppose you know, the avenues, the legal avenues that are available to Mr. Lowassa, you know, given the parameters of the law, are still available.
All right, let's think about John Magufuli's presidency now, president-elect, of course. He ran on a ticket of change. How much change can a party that's been around for quite some time now, the oldest party in Tanzania, present, considering that the president-elect himself has been a member of a party for as long as perhaps I've been alive? What kind of change is he going to bring that Tanzanians haven't seen?
It is true. I mean, all of us ran on change. But there is change and there's quality of leadership. So those two dynamics were in play in this election. Eventually, if you sell change, as you know, Lowassa did, while you also have been in part of the establishment for the past 40 years, it's very difficult for people to buy it. Now, if you put in scale between our candidate, Mr. Magufuli, and Mr. Lowassa, and measure the level and the quality of leadership among the two candidates, the choice was clear. And also, if you do the change scale as well, Magufuli represented, you know, outsider, fresh face compared to Mr. Lowassa. So for us, it was quite interesting that the opposition, who normally it's easier for them to run on change, chose a candidate which make it difficult for them to run on change.
All right, final question before I let you go, January. You were part of the nomination process within CCM, also running for that ticket to run as a presidential aspirant. Is this the last we've seen of January Makamba as a presidential candidate? Are we seeing 5 years down the line perhaps a challenge to John Magufuli from yourself?
No, I ran for my seat as an MP. This is the job that I actively seek, so I'm just looking forward to be an MP for Bumbuli and serve my people.
All right, 5 years down the line though?
No, not at all. I mean, we have a tradition here to let our president, run for
The
2
full
terms.
term. So then 10 years then.
I'm not sure. Politics is a very long and unpredictable game. So you cannot serve the people now while thinking about running for the present and the future. You will not be able to function. So I'm focused on serving my people that have elected me as an MP.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Very
this
good
evening.
work, KTN, in this coverage. I hope you open a bureau here.
Well, it's a tradition here at KTN, so
Brilliant.
we're not surprised. Lakini asante
Asante
sana.
sana.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
cheers.
This, of course, is
Cheers.
January Makamba, Member of Parliament for Bumbuli, and, of course, part of the National Executive Committee here of